how to increase home ownership in the United States with the work with housing counseling. We're going to bring in some leading thinkers in the field who we've been working with in the past. We've invited HUD in, and they are working to try to have them in place as well. We will also highlight some of the more exciting new home ownership strategies that are out in the field today or going to be launched into the field. This should be a very deep conversation. I mean, I don't know if you've been to a Leaders in Housing Counseling conference before, but we really try to use these as a way to bring the community together to move the dial forward. And these conversations, I think, will be very, very valuable. We will have a reception in the evening at the Bank of America, and then on Thursday morning, we're working to get key House and Senate members in to have a conversation about how to work with the Hill and what the future looks like in the current environment. And then in the afternoon, and that'll be the membership meeting, and there'll be a membership luncheon. And then in the afternoon, we're going to bring together all the people that are talking about how to get the word out, how to message, how to market housing counseling, how to build a public image of all these pieces. And that conversation will bring in, we're going to have creative marketing people, and they're the consultants that have been working with HUD, have been doing very interesting work. We'll have Fannie Mae and the research they've been doing. Some of you have seen this about how housing counseling is viewed among industry players like mortgage brokers and real estate agents. We'll have some other resource people. This will be a very rich conversation. But the idea that we're hoping to do is get all these people together in the room to say, okay, here are the elements we're hearing. How do we move this forward? How do we position counseling? How do we get people in the door before they've done major financial decisions like signing a sales agreement or a mortgage application? I hope we'll squeeze in a little bit of time with FHFA on delinquency and default, which is the other big issue we've got out there. I mean, it'll be an intense day and a half of meetings, and you know, and so unfortunately we have limited seating for the first time. So we have about 50 or so seats. It's 1/3 already booked with people. So if you want to go and you're a member, I'll probably put out one more notice this the beginning of next week, and you should definitely reserve your seat now. And then we will open up the remaining seats to our broader listserv of NHRC participants. You know, really hope if you're deeply interested in policy, you'll jump in on this. This is going to be, I think, a very valuable meeting for our work. Okay, so let's get on with it. So I'm very pleased that, you know, we've been working all spring on these various meetings. Big thanks to NeighborWorks for helping us figure out many of the great projects that their units have been doing. We brought in a few outside of NeighborWorks as well. And we'll continue doing this, but the idea is, what are the lines of business that housing counseling agencies should be looking at in the future that provides more sustainability, broadens our work without getting too far away from our central mission of our work. So today it's about the Heat Squad Conservation Program. NeighborWorks of Western Vermont has been doing deep and exciting work in this field and doing some pioneering work. And I know other agencies have done some work in this field as well. We have Melanie Paskovich from the NeighborWorks of Western Vermont. And Melanie, are you with us?
I'm here.
Oh, excellent. Good. Well, welcome, and please go ahead.
Great. Thank you. Do I have control, or are you guys controlling the slides?
I can move the slides if you just ask me to.
Okay, sounds good. Hi, I'm, like I said, Melanie. Thank you for this opportunity. Always like to talk about our great program here, Heat Squad. So yes, I'm the program manager of Heat Squad. I've been here since the inception of the program, so I know it pretty well in and out. So I've been at this for 7 years. So, and it's kind of been my baby here that we've grown up. So very excited to talk about it. Next slide. So just a little bit about NeighborWorks of Western Vermont. We're a nonprofit housing organization, as I think a lot of you probably are as well. and we're part of the National NeighborWorks America network. And we've been here about 30 years, actually over 30 years. And since the beginning, it was high customer service, one-stop shop. We're here to help homeowners with all sorts of homeowners and potential homeowners with all the needs and things that they need about homeownership. We're a little unique. We have several different lines of business, we call it here. We actually have a realtor on staff. We have a full service lending department. We have financial counseling and education. We have home repair or rehab program. And then we have our Heat Squad, all centering about home ownership. But literally, as you can see, we're helping really at every step of home ownership to get them educated, to get them ready to buy the home, help them find the right home that they need, and lending for that. And then do they need work on the home? Do they need efficiency on the home? Do they need a loan for that? So all about home ownership. And we have community revitalization as well, and we have our own construction crew. I need to update this too. We do have a construction crew in-house as well. So yeah, very excited to kind of work all about home ownership. And we have our new tagline now, we're all things home, so we're excited about that. Next slide. So a little bit about Heat Squad. I'm obviously going to dive into the Heat Squad a lot more here, but I just want to give you a highbrow view of what Heat Squad is. So again, Heat Squad, we've been here since 2010, so we're on our 7th year, and we're here to basically support homeowners I do work with businesses as well, but to help them improve the efficiency, to understand what's going on in their home. And again, this program is just built on the arms of what was already here. So it's building on that one-stop shop. We're going to help you at every step. So we're going to break down that barrier at the beginning. We have reduced cost energy audits. The market, when we stepped into it here, is about $500 for an energy audit. And so that obviously is catering to the upper income. And the uniqueness about Heat Squad is that we help all incomes here, from Sally Joe and her trailer to Dr. McMansion home. And I joke, but I said, I'll help. You got a doghouse. I don't care what housing type it is. I don't care what your income is. We're going to help you at every step. So it's reducing that barrier in the front. We do the energy audits. We're going to help you understand it. We're going to help you get contractors. We're going to help you with financing. We're going to help you get rebates. So all of it we can help with. Currently, we're in about half of the state, a little bit more, pushing 3/4 of the state of Vermont. Vermont's not very big, if anybody's been here. So we service currently 5 counties plus a little bit more. We've completed over 4,000 energy audits since 2010, and of those 4,000, we're pushing actually 600 of those have turned into weatherization projects. They've done some efficiency improvements of some sort. We have lots of great partners that we work with. Our local utilities are great partners, our efficiency utilities. Obviously, contractors are very important, energy committees, champions, and other nonprofit organizations. Next. So again, I just want to kind of run down through what we do, and then I'll get into where we started, where we are, and where we're going. We do a full comprehensive energy audit. I don't know if everybody's aware of what that is. We're setting up a blower door. We're there 3 to 4 hours, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. And we're looking at every nook and cranny. Where are they losing, that heat? Where are their leaks? How big? How much? And where are they? And then we're going to look at their heating system, their hot water system. What is going on for insulation? Do you have moisture issues? Do you have health and safety issues? We're looking at carbon monoxide. We're looking at smoke detectors. Do you have mold? Do you have asbestos? Do you have miculite? Do you have knob and tube? Are there electrical issues? And then we're also looking at the shell. Does your roof leak? Does your foundation leak? What's going on in the home? So we do this year-round. We do about 700 to 800 energy audits a year. And we're unique in that we can actually develop the energy audit report right at the audit. We're actually the only one in the state that can do that, and other states I know do it. But we're unique in Vermont. I bought software years ago, so that's great. when you got them right there in the home, we're going to educate them not only about audit and what's going on in their home, but then we're going to show them what it looks like. Next. So this is our audit report. This is obviously a fake one because we don't do homes like that. But anyway, this is roughly what you can see what we're showing people. So again, we're in the home, we're doing the audit, they're all jazzed up, we've educated them, we've shown them where all those leaks are or what's happening, and then we have a very easy audit report, 6-7 pages at the most, got some tips in it. But what we show is we give a home a score. So the Vermont average is this, you're at this, but we're going to get you to this, and we're going to save you this. The state doesn't show on here, but the state and the next page over it would show you this is what you're going to get back from the state in a rebate. This is what you're going to save every year. This is roughly what it's going to cost, and we're going to break it down into each measure. So we're going to look at your attic. Okay, your attic is performing like this. It could be like this if we did this, and this is what you'd save. And we're looking at everything. So obviously we're looking at weatherization, energy efficiency. We're also looking into, wow, is this a good home for a heat pump? Is this a good home for solar? Is this a good heat pump for solar hot water or heat pump hot water heater? Do you just need a new heating system? Whatever it might be, do you need an upgraded hot water system? So anything that lighting, appliances, we're really looking at everything and showing it to them in a way that they can understand, and then what is your return on that investment and what can we save you? And we're always about what can the homeowner do and how can we work within their budget. And this is about them and their needs and what they can afford. And so we break it down. We'll phase jobs. Well, how about you do this year and do this next year, and this is what it looks like. You know, we're here for the homeowner to help them kind of figure this all out. Next. I don't know why. Next. Did these not come? Oh. There you go. Thank you. So, and what we'd like to talk to people about is that comprehensive energy path. You know, we're not going to look at one little piece of it. We're going to look at the whole piece of it. This is about building science. This is about your whole house. How is your house performing? So we're going to start out with, let's look at the thermal needs. How do we insulate and air seal? We generally in Vermont, we all have full basements that are pretty wet and yucky. So we deal with those. We deal with the attic. Sometimes we'll do the sidewalls, but we're really kind of capping the house at the top and bottom. And then, all right, now let's get some new equipment on here. Maybe it's heat pumps, heat pump of water. Maybe it's pellet. Maybe it's an outdoor wood boiler, whatever makes sense for them and their budget and their needs. And then let's talk about solar power to then supplement your increased electrical load if you've put in heat pumps or heat pump hot water heater. And we're going to talk to you about on-site or community and what that looks like. So we're going over the whole thing and kind of chunking it down for them and making them understand it. Next. So, and what we're also unique and not unique, well, I think we're a step above is that we, again, we're helping with everything. So not only are they helping to understand it, we're doing the audit report, we're objectively helping through it because we don't do the work. I have energy auditors on staff, but we work with independent contractors that we trust to do the work. So we're that objective help for that customer. And then we're going to talk about a loan. So we here at NeighborWorks of Western Vermont, we offer a statewide energy loan available to all incomes. We have an easy process. In 24 to 48 hours, I'm going to tell you if you've pre-qualified. Well, I'm not, but our lender will tell you if we've pre-qualified. And we're also unique in that it's not just for weatherization, but we can do that building shell improvement. So let's weatherize, but you got a leak. So let's fix your roof. Let's fix your foundation. Let's get you heat pumps. Let's get you Tesla Powerwall, if that makes sense. That can all be part of our loan, which is unsecured up to $40,000. And then we have on-bill repayment with our local power Green Mountain Power utility if they choose. Just kind of makes it a little bit easier. And we have different interest rates based on income, but it's open for everybody. We have different terms, so very easy to use. I like to tell this story. There was a one point in time I happened to look and I'm like, wow, we have 5 people that took out our loan who work at a local bank. And I remember talking with one of them and I said, I forget her name, Sally, but I said, Sally, you're vice president of the local bank. Why are you taking out our loan? She's like, it's so easy and it's all one-stop shop. My auditor talked to me about it. My auditor helped me qualify. I can just work through you guys. It just makes it easier. So we're all about simplicity and ease. And that's the other beauty of our program, because before people open up a phone book and just pick somebody out of the phone book to call, and then that auditor might come out and maybe then he helps you get some other contractor, and then I don't know about financing. I'm not sure how to get the rebate. So one-stop shop, all in-house, all about the customer. Next. So again, like I said, we're helping at every step. We're objectively helping at every step. So then, after that audit, we're going to connect you with contractor or contractors that we feel fit you and your budget, and they're trusted, right? We know that they're going to do a good job, and if they don't, well, we're going to get on them if they don't. We're going to be there to, make sure the work is done right. And we're going to connect you with multiple contractors, whatever you need. And then when you have those estimates, we're going to review those with you and say, all right, that estimate from Bill looks really good, because I know, because he's done 100 jobs with us, so we know. And then we help the customer to figure it out and determine the scope of work that works for them. Then when the job's done, we're going to come back out. We're going to perform a second blower door test. So we're going to make sure everything looks good, it's to code, and everything's done what the homeowner paid for. And if not, then we're going to be on that guy and we're going to get him back there to finish. So we're the advocate for the homeowner, right? We're there to make sure it's done to what they paid for and to specs and to code. And then we submit all the paperwork for the rebates from the state, which is from our efficiency utility, Efficiency Vermont, which covers the whole state. And right now, thankfully, we've up to $2,500 customers can get back. And on average, our customers get back about $1,400. Which is pretty sweet. And on average, our projects are about $7,000, but our average loan amount's about $12,000 or $13,000. So our customers, when they take out our loan, they're doing more work. So it's great. It's there to help them with that. And on average, 60% of our customers are 120 AMI and below. So we're dealing with middle income, which has been not dealt with here in the state. So I think because we're in the neighborhood, we're a homeownership center, we really, I think, gravitate towards that demographic group. And we're getting a lot of referrals from other programs here in the organization, which is that cross referral is always good. Next. So why do we do this? Some of these are self-explanatory. We're helping them to lower their heating costs, cooling costs. We're improving the comfort, less drafty, warmer winter, cooler in the summer. We're dealing with those health and safety issues. We're increasing the value of the home, better market, right, market value, and then we're helping to get the cash incentive available from Efficiency Vermont. So very important. I think people come to us first to save on their energy bills, but what I hear most often from people is, oh, great, how are you saving on those energy bills? Oh, Melanie, I don't know, it's great, but my house is so much warmer now. I can use my, guest bedroom that I didn't before. I don't have to wear 5 layers of socks in the winter. It's pretty cold here in Vermont. And our fuel bills, my average customer spends about $4,000 a year on heating oil. We have unregulated fuels here, which can be quite costly. So even with lower fuel costs, it's still a large burden. Our electricity isn't too bad, but our fuel costs are crazy. So we're really helping people in making those homes more comfortable. Next. Oh, you can go through these. Keep on going. I should have taken these out, sorry. So again, the health and safety, just want to address that a little bit more. We're getting more and more into this. We're actually working with our local hospital on this. Huge, there's obviously you get the benefits of, reducing your bills and more comfortable, but all these things are just as, we're reducing the pests and the rodents. I hear it all the time. It's quieter. We're helping with the moisture and mildew, which that we know is a trigger for asthma or COPD patients. So again, we're working with our local hospital, which has been a great connection to go in of those asthmatic patients and see what's going on. Let's give them an audit. Let's see what we can do to fix their home, regardless of income, and the hospital's actually kicking in some money. So that's been exciting, and we're kind of building a case to see what Medicaid and Medicare could help with down the road. We're looking at those gas leaks, carbon monoxide leaks. We find gas leaks all the time. And carbon monoxide off-gassing of maybe your cooking stove or maybe it's your boiler. We find that a lot. We'll stop the audit. We'll make sure they call their fuel dealer right then and there to address those issues. Obviously, it's not healthy. And then we're making sure the houses aren't too tight. We find that sometimes, and that can be an issue too. I've had customers that complain of headaches all the time. We're like, your house is too tight. Let's get a heat recovery ventilator in here and let's get some fresh air. So looking at it all, but health and safety is very important and first and foremost in what we're doing and how we're helping homeowners to have a safer, healthier home. Next. Yeah, go through these two. Thank you. Oh, there we go. So another thing is protecting your investment, right? Reducing those occurrence of damaging of ice dams, which here in Vermont, while they're pretty, they're not good for your home. So obviously, a lot of times ice dams are caused from that warm air escaping and refreezing and building up ice, and then it can get back into the house, which can help with insurance rates. But anyway, so we're limiting that moisture, we're protecting the structure, increasing longevity, lower maintenance, and increasing the value. So all of that, another good why we do this about the homes to help them out. Next. You can go through a few of these too. And then a lot of people too are important about, you know, helping their community and being part of their community and giving back to their community. We actually hear this a lot from folks. So what we're also involved here is job creation and empowerment and independence and supporting the local economy. You know, we hear that a lot. I want to work with a local contractor. I want, you know, to help with my local economy, and that's what we're helping people do, right? So that money that they're saving on those energy bills, instead of going overseas, right, for fossil fuel, they're going to stay here local, and they can support their local economy in an indirect way, and you're giving a job to a contractor. So win-win-win. Next. So two pieces here, apologize about the formatting here, two pieces here that are important to making this work is driving demand and contractors. Next slide's contractors. So one is driving that demand. So it's important, you got to drive the demand to then get the jobs, to then get the contractors on board. So all these things we've done. So it's marketing, it's outreach, it's grassroots, but it's important to get that wheel turning for engagement and to get people thinking about how can I, you know, conserve on my energy. And the key to all of it is trusted source messaging. So if you can get, you know, the pastor of a local church get on board, you know, with energy efficiency, then they're going to get their parishioners on board. If you get the principal, if you can get your boss to do it. We're very into going into employers and offering energy efficiency as a benefit to the employees while working with the employer or the boss. Do that a lot. Done all these different things, all work great. Any of the associated fuel dealers, the utilities, local groups, it's important to make those connections to get to drive that demand for energy efficiency. It's a immature market, and there's a lot of work we got to do, but all these things have worked great for us. Next. So while you're driving that demand, you also have to, you know, meet that demand, right? So encouraging and engaging the contractors, critical piece of our program. Didn't really know that when I first started out. So workforce development has been very key here. We helped 3 businesses actually start. We've created, counting, at least 62 jobs and $9 million in revenue for our local contractors. So win-win-win, right? We're helping people save money, but we're also encouraging the local job economy. And I've done everything from temporary workforce. I've given them sales training, skills training. I've helped them with loans, equipment loans, you name it. But what's important is you listen to your contractors and then you respond and you make them part of the process, which is, they're vital. If they're not working and successful, the program's not successful. So you got to watch both, driving the demand, educating the public, but also engaging with the contractors. Very vital. Next. So I just want to go over a few more slides here. So how we started, right? So Heat Squad started with a lovely grant from the Department of Energy in 2010. This was ARA stimulus funding. And the goal was to improve the energy efficiency of 1,000 homes just in Rutland County, which we did and actually have gone beyond. And we had basically 4 years to do that. They extended it a little bit in the end, but we serviced all income. So when we started, Rutland County had was it 26 weatherization jobs completed the year before we started. Now on average we do 300. So it really, in Rutland County, so it really took off during our grant period. which was great, but took a lot of those, driving the demand and engaging with the contractors. Those two pieces were very vital. But yeah, and the whole key here is that we built on the base of our existing customer service that was already here as part of a housing agency. They already were all about customer service and one-stop shop, and it's just building on the arms of that to add this Heat Squad, the efficiency program. And now our efficiency is in our home repair and our rehab program, and we're starting to actually blend the two. And when we started, I had an intake specialist, I had myself, and I had 2 energy advisors. We're not auditors, they were advisors. We then worked with independent contractors and auditors. I've since changed that. So that's what we started for the first 4 years. Basically, it was 3 of us, and then we worked with the marketing that was already here in the office and the outreach team that was already here. I did have a part-time outreach sometimes, but again, just building on what was already here. We added 4 employees to run this Heat Squad program in the beginning, and then for the first 4 years, we were funded 100% by that grant from DOE to really get going and really, how do we change the market? How do we educate the market? How do we make this a go? But really what worked is we're building on already the housing organization and the structure that was already here. And I think that's what's honestly made it successful. There's obviously other pieces too, but that was the big piece I think that made this successful is we're already in the neighborhood. We're already a trusted source. We're just adding on this other layer of a program and help for our customers. Next. So then after the grant, we did get a little grant from our local power utility, and we expanded from 1 county to 5 counties, which is now half of Vermont. We were able to purchase software with the DOE grant so we could deliver those audit reports right in the home, which is very vital. But as of 2015, we're 100% fee-generated revenue. We have no grant revenue. So how we kind of turned it around in 2015, we hired, or since 2015, it's been 1 a year actually, I've hired energy auditors, so they're in-house. So now I have 5 full-time employees. So I have 3 energy auditors, I have myself, and I have intake. Again, I'm still working with the marketing and outreach department here in the organization. We had to buy blower door kits and infrared cameras and vehicles and apparel, but that was really it to really have the model we have now. So where are we getting the revenue? Well, obviously the audit cost, which is $150 for an energy audit now. We started at $50 and then we went to $100. Since we've been no grant funding, we're now at $150. Contractors pay us lead fees when we give them a project lead. They kick us back, and we're getting interest off the energy loans. We've done 330 energy loans, 0 default rate on those energy loans. I forget how many millions we've lent out, but we're getting the interest rate from that. And Efficiency Vermont pays us every time we complete a job. They pay us an amount, and at the end of the year, they pay us another amount. And then we help customers that are do-it-yourselfers. They pay us a little extra fee too to help them in that model. Next. So where is Heat Squad going? So I also want to mention in 2016, with a little expansion grant for NeighborWorks America, we expanded to FAHI, which is another NeighborWorks organization. They've been lovely to work with. They have, I think it's 54 organizations that work under FAHI that cover the Appalachia area. So we've expanded our Heat Squad program to 4 counties in eastern Kentucky. Working with one of their partner organizations. We've done several audits and projects. It was, our first year was a pilot to see how it went. It was successful, bumpy, but successful. We had some growing pains in there, but we have expanded and they've launched Heat Squad in their organization. And we've currently expanded to 5 other counties in Kentucky, working with 2 other organizations to Heat Squad that's just kind of rolling out now. And they did get a grant from the Appalachia Regional Commission to do that expansion. So we're figuring it out, but it can be replicated, and we've been quite happy with it, and very happy with that, and would like to keep growing and keep expanding the Heat Squad model out. We'll see where that goes. And then we are expanding up into 3 counties in northern Vermont. Hopefully, I've applied for a Northern Borders grant for distressed areas in the state. So we'll see, that's a federal grant. We'll see if we get that. We've also, seriously, this afternoon actually, I'm working with our budgeting team to have an in-house weatherization crew. We have a construction crew, but not a weatherization crew. So I might take that in-house just to see, get some revenue off that. We talked about a subscription service for our customers, different type of audits that focus maybe on electrical or heating. And like I said before, we're blending our rehab and efficiency to be one program. Right now it's two separate that kind of feed each other back and forth, but we're working on expanding it into one. So just want to keep it going and keep the offers going and keep expanding. We'd like to be the whole state in a couple of years, or next year would be nice. And then keep expanding it nationwide if we can. We feel it's a successful model and customers really like it, and it can be self-sustaining when you reach a certain volume, but we're very happy with it and lots of happy customers. So it's been a great program, and really, like I said before, I think it absolutely fits with the homeownership center. I think that's actually the only model it can fit, just building on the arms of what's already here. Next. I think that's it, but thank you very much. If there are questions, I know there's a few minutes left, so hopefully I can answer some questions.
There are, and just to
So let me
remind
just,
folks,
before we go on, let me just, so we should plan on going over time about 10 minutes, so we have some room for questions. I'm going to tee up two questions quickly because I think this will be helpful for people to understand if they wanted to initiate something like this. So first one is, are there templates, the software, are there things that somebody who would be starting out wouldn't have to invent themselves, or resource places that you could go that would allow you to have a faster startup?
So currently, you know, I like to say I'm putting it in a box. I am working with a team to put it in a box. Our software is totally unique to us. It's customized to us. You can only actually get it through, I customized it for 2 years, so you can only get access to that through NeighborWorks Western Vermont. But we do have a third-party vendor license to do that, so that you wouldn't have to do. There's a little bit of customization you would have to do for your own area, but that can be. We do have, we have templates, we have lessons learned, we have all of that, which is under, you know, Heat Squad is trademarked. We do have it copyrighted. It's under our, you know, our organization here. So it would be a partnership that we would do, but it has all been worked out. And that was our expansion grant that we did last year with FAHI. That was to kind of figure that out and put in a box. And so we've worked on that, and that's how we've been able to expand to more. So we do have it. So each time, the second time, it's been much easier. It's getting easier as we keep replicating. So yeah.
So let me just understand this. So
Yep.
It sounds like you are ready to expand to other areas?
Yep.
Or,
Yep.
Oh, okay. So then people
Yep.
could reach out to you if they wanted to.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
we've become a national rollout
Nice.
forum. So
Yeah.
a couple, you'll be our third national program to roll out.
Good.
And we'd be glad to do that, and maybe have you come back at another time around those issues maybe next year. So one more quick question, which is, not everybody's, it looks like we're not going to be having Department of Energy grants available to start up.
Nope.
And so how does a group that hasn't been in this field before, what would you say would be the funding sources that they should look at, since your initial work was grant driven?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. You know, I still beat my head against the wall trying to figure that out. You know, there are some, like I mentioned, we've gone for this Northern Borders Regional Commission, which that seems to be there, and there's different pockets of that across the U.S. I don't have it in front of me, but I know Texas has it. There's different funding grants, and that's to help with job creation in disadvantaged and distressed areas. And we feel Heat Squad, that's kind of one of the big side benefits of Heat Squad is that workforce development and the training. And that's a big piece of it. So I think any of that, like workforce development angle, and there are federal dollars, it could be local dollars for that, your utilities and efficiency utilities. A lot of them might need some help, might need some other ways to get the word out there, and you could be a great partner for that. I do think there's fees you can get off here, but definitely utilities, efficiency utilities, and then look at these federal or state workforce development or workforce growth. There is money out there for that, and it is a good tie-in. We've also, our local banks actually that offer green loans tend to be a really good partner, have offered to actually purchase us over time. So you might want to look into that too. Those are only the ones that I know of really that have kind of, oh, MacArthur Foundation is kind of a good one, but anything that's expanding and growing and workforce development, those are always key.
Well, I'll just add to one of the areas I think we'll try to highlight next year in one of our sessions will be around health and the relationship to housing. But
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really smart on your part to think about triggers for asthma, carbon monoxide, gas leaks, those kinds of things that are very practical public health issues that you'll be solving. And there's a lot of health money out there. So good. Let's go to the regular questions.
Okay, and there's just a few, so just a reminder to folks that if you have questions, you can put them into the question box. I think the first question is basically whether if the program's just paying for itself or if it is actually generating additional revenue or if you expect it to generate positive revenue.
Well, to be honest, it's just paying for itself. We haven't really hit that sweet spot. It's a volume game, right? So we're still educating the market, and as we expand, we have to educate a new market. So it takes some time to build that up. But it is a volume. I don't like to say game, but it's a volume metric that you have to get to. So we're holding steady. I think if we can keep getting out there and keep growing and getting the demand up. And to be honest, if fuel prices were a lot higher, our fuel prices are lower, that would really drive. When the fuel prices were $4 to $5, I couldn't keep up with the demand. So I think when we get there, so it's driving that demand and getting the volume up. But we're holding steady. I wouldn't say it's a money maker for us at this point in time, but I see the potential.
Great. Someone asked, so the other two questions are both going back to the lending, and so this one is whether there's a credit score component to the loans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think our credit score is 640, I believe, but we also have a lending review committee here that the lenders will take it to the committee and they'll make a final decision. But yeah, 640.
Okay, and then someone asked, she said that they're curious if Vermont state financing has income restrictions or what type of non-federal funding are you utilizing for the high income earners?
For funding sources, for lending sources?
For
lending capital? Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually get lending from a myriad of different ways, and it's quite interesting, actually. Bank of America has given us unrestricted funds. Our state treasurer has given us funds, all geared towards efficiency and any income. We also get our normal, I think, CDFI funds, but that's income restricted. Our Department of Public Service gave us interest rate buy-down money, which is, there's no income restrictions on it. So we've actually got a myriad of different sources, and our DOE loan actually is what started a lending pool. We used half of the money for that actually, and that was unrestricted, and that's obviously a revolving, right? It's coming back in and being used for more lending. It's unrestricted. And we have a loan loss reserve fund out of that too. So it's a myriad of different sources that has just basically come because the program has been so successful that we've just really gotten our name out there, and we do the most projects in the whole state. So it just kind of gravitates towards us, and we get our name out there, and we get our success out there, and they've all come to us to give us this money. So lending capital for us has not been a problem. It's driving the demand for the lending capital. That's been the problem.
Great. That's all the questions we've got.
Terrific. Sounds like you're doing an excellent job. So
Thank you.
congratulations to you and your team. Let's
you.
just close out the call with a couple quick mentions. So we are going to have calls next. Our next one's coming up. One will be, it's very interesting. So Bob Creedle will be back with us from Urban Edge to talk about profit and loss analysis. We'll relate somewhat to the conversation we just had a moment ago about making money on your work and how to price, which I think is an issue we hear a lot about. They've done a lot of thinking about pricing, and he'll talk, I hope, about some of the failures they've done and what they've learned and how they are pricing now. It's actually very relevant to our work, and will be, I hope, very nuts and bolts. Probably will do it with his chief financial officer. The next one, early July, right after the 4th of July weekend, will be on, I'm calling it the Future of Housing Counseling discussion. I'm really trying to tee up what we're going to do at the leaders meeting. You should be on the call even if you can't make the leaders meeting, because I think we are really trying to figure out the pieces that will make our work more relevant and successful over the next few years. And we'll have some kind of broader, deeper conversation on this in the webinar, and that will help set up the work we're going to do in the actual meeting. And then on the 20th, we'll have the people from Boston Community Capital talking about their SUN initiative, where people deeply underwater, they're purchasing those mortgages, restructuring them, doing principal reduction, and transferring them back. I didn't actually know this until they called me up or emailed me to say it, that they're now in multiple states. I thought it was just a Massachusetts program. So this is a pretty exciting development and worth seeing if it's how much they're willing to expand on this. We are looking for more innovative new lines of business projects. So if you've got one up your sleeve, please shoot me an email. We'll be doing another series of these certainly next spring, and if I get enough in line, I might do something. We might do something in the fall as well. The other quick thing is, of course, we'd love to have you join as a member if you haven't already. I'm really grateful that in the current environment, we're getting new groups to join, and we continue to grow. We really appreciate this. As you know, we are deeply involved in the conversation about how to make housing counseling more sustainable over the long term. Another project we'll be working on next year, I hope, will be to figure out how to create more momentum locally in local markets so that it's not all about the federal programs, and we will create a new line of self-sufficiency. So more about that later as we go along. So with that, let's talk next week about with Bob Creedle, and thanks for all the good work you're doing. We'll stay in touch. Bye.
Thanks.